There is a lot on the line for the Bahrain 8 Hours, championships to be decided, and some farewells to either the series or the sports altogether. Let's have a bit of a talk about it, shall we? Let's get into it. Starting off with the schedule, the race is going to be run over the 6th to the 8th of November, and starting off, FP1 12:15 local time, FP2 5 PM local time. In the UK that's 9:15 AM and 2 PM, but I believe it's only going to be live timing available for those. Friday we'll see FP3 at midday, or in the UK that's 9 AM, so we're just taking 3 hours off to get these. Then qualifying starts at 4 PM local, 1 PM UK, and will end just after 5 PM local or 2 PM UK. The race itself on the Saturday will be starting at 2 PM local and going into the night at 10. In the UK, that's an 11 AM start and finishing at 7 PM. In terms of BOP, there are a couple of changes going into this finale. We're looking at a different BOP system for next year as well, but there are some changes, especially when you look at the year on year. But between rounds, the Alpine's gotten heavier and it's lost some of its power when it comes to below 250 kilometers per hour. It's had the joint biggest nerf alongside the Porsche of all cars, though the Porsche has put on more weight, as has the Peugeot and the Cadillac, each of them putting on 4 kilos. 9 kilowatts off for the Alpine and the Porsche. And, well, the worst hit is probably Cadillac, because they've lost a whopping 24 kilowatts. They were great in qualifying, but struggled when it came to race pace, and well, being unfortunate when it came to some bits with strategy as well. The Aston Martin is the only hypercar that's unchanged, as the BMW loses some weight but loses some power. Ferrari loses some weight and gains some power after a couple of dismal weekends. The Peugeot, gains some weight and loses a tiny bit of power, whilst the Toyota probably gets the biggest buff. It loses 7 kilos and gains 6 kilowatts below 250 kilometers per hour. And there are some changes around when it comes to the lineups for this finale. Lauren Heinrich will be going into the number 5 for this final race, and I believe that it is going to be a farewell in there as well. I think it's Julian Anlauer's final race for Porsche. Meanwhile, in terms of any kinds of other changes around, when we have a look at the Peugeot, Théo Pourchaire will be stepping in for Stoffel van Dorn, who is leaving Peugeot at the... Well, he's already left Peugeot, but it's a change around when it comes to the Stellantis plans. He's off to Jag in Formula E as a reserve for next season. And there are other drivers who are saying goodbye. Jenson Button will be retiring from competitive motorsport at the race and season's end. Well done to the 2009 F1 World Champion. It'd be nice if he could end the season on a high. And if we turn the clocks back 12 months, there were all kinds of different things that went on right at the end, which included things like penalties coming out right at the last minute. Poor Ferrari ended up losing a championship bout over that, but there were all kinds of different divisions when it came to championship assignments. I'm pretty sure it ended up being that you got one with Toyota, one with Porsche, and then Ferrari, had Le Mans. But TGR ended up taking the win, 30 seconds over the number 5 Porsche. Peugeot 93 was in third on the podium, ahead of the Alpine 35 and the WRT BMW number 15. It ended up being 6 manufacturers in the top 6, with Cadillac in 6th place, the number 2. While Haas Team Jota led home AF Corsa when it came to the privateers. And in terms of the championships being on the line, it is almightily close. AF Corsa, the sort of privateer Ferrari, are 13 points behind the Ferrari AF Corsa entry. So it's the 83 versus the number 51 for the championship. So it will be a former F1 driver taking the title, whether it's Robert Kubica or Antonio Giovinazzi. I'm not necessarily ruling out the other mathematical contenders, which are the Porsche Penske Motorsport, Vesta and Vantorn, and also Lynn, Nato and Stevens in the Jota. They are mathematically in contention, with the maximum score being 39 points for the weekend. But they do have their work cut out, because their deficit is over 30 points. So we could see it going to any of 3 manufacturers, theoretically, but most likely it's going to go the way of Ferrari. When it comes to the LMGT3, 11 points separate Manthe first form versus the Vista AF Corsa, and then 24 points back you have the TF Sport, or the lead TF Sport, the second one 70 points back. Just outside of contention is the heart of racing Aston Martin. So it could be Porsche again with Manthe. It could be Ferrari doing a double in the Hypercar and LMGT3. Or it could even be Corvette with 2 cars potentially mathematically able to take it. Though they may need a couple of miracles to be able to get there. The Manufacturers' Championship is almost guaranteed to be Ferraris, whilst the Hypercar teams is guaranteed to be AF Corsas. And like I said, when it comes to LMGT3 teams, Manthe first form is quite, well, a bit more in contention with the Vista AF Corsa, when the TF Sports are just about in contention. In terms of ones to watch though, Porsche Penske will be wanted to bow out the series on a high. It's the last one potentially for the 963 outright if a deal isn't done, both between Porsche and some privateers, and also Porsche and the FIA. They'll be trying to go all out. Ferrari, well, it'll be a all-out duel between the 2 championship contenders. I wouldn't expect to rule out the 50 having a role in all of this as well. But realistically, for Hansen Kubica and FIA to take the title here, they're going to need to win and get pole, and hope that somebody slots themselves between them and the 51. It's doable, and Ferrari have benefited from the bop, but it is going to be tricky. It definitely is going to be tricky. It would be a nice kind of fairy tale story, though, especially with a lot of the attention that Kubica's been getting at the moment. When it comes to looking for somebody at Bahrain, yeah, I think Manthe are going to do enough to hold on. AF Corsa could take the win, but TF Sport won the last one, and then before that, when it came to COTA, it was actually United Autosport, the McLaren. So AF Corsa have been good before, and they have won this year at Spa, but they haven't had the same kind of peaks the Manthe First Form team have, and the Manthe First Form have just been that little bit more consistent over the course of the year. That's what's put them in the title lead. Regardless, folks, as always, thanks so much for watching and joining. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time, it's bye-bye for now.